Okay, hey guys. So I've been getting a lot of questions regarding how did I get into my current role as a clinical research associate. So I'm gonna try to stay on track and answer that question in this video. If there are any remaining questions after this video, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'm gonna start a series regarding all of this. So if you don't know, previously I was in the pharmacy field for all of my career up until this point. I've been a certified pharmacy technician since high school, basically, and I've worked in long-term care, inpatient, outpatient, retail, PBM, you name it, I did it. But it became a time where I needed to decide what I was going to do going forward. I did try the pharmacy school thing for a while, and it just wasn't what I was looking for. So actually, I was introduced to the field by my therapist indirectly. I told her what was having conversation regarding what was going on with me currently, and she indirectly introduced me to someone else with her, knowing my background professionally and what I was looking for in a career. She thought that it would be a good transition and next phase for me. So once I met with the young lady who I think she's now a clinical trials manager, but she has been a CRA before, and she's also worked in the pharmacy profession as a pharmacy technician as well previously. And she explained to me a little bit more about the career clinical research as a whole and also a CRA. I started doing my research. I started looking up like the day in the life of a clinical research associate. There's not many, so you'll start seeing that on my page from now on, I think. I also started looking up like the phases of a clinical trial, the history of clinical trials, all of the regulatory documents and review and things of that nature that goes into the clinical trial process, and also the different positions. I was looking for a career that I can possibly retire from, but I needed to know that as a professional starting from this point that I can continue to grow. So everything was looking pretty good for me personally for this profession. So I went ahead and did a deep dive into the history, the phases, everything. Like I wanted to know from start to finish regarding a clinical trial, more so I can understand what I'm doing in my job. And also it was great talking points for an interview, or when I was talking to like a recruiter or something. People were very impressed with the amount of knowledge that I already had coming into the career with no previous knowledge of clinical trials. I do have a bachelor's in regulatory science, and we did work more on the agricultural side of a clinical trial regarding like food and things of that nature, but I never was introduced to anything such as clinical research. And right now I'm working on the drug side. You can also do clinical, have clinical research trials for drugs and devices. But I'll get into that more later. So after doing my research, I started looking more specifically at the descriptions of a CRA and trying to merge that with trying to find transferable skills regarding my pharmacy profession and what they were looking for as a entry-level CRA. There are entry-level CRA positions. Also, other positions can be a clinical trials, manager. That's a little bit more higher position. But study coordinator, clinical trial assistant, in-house CRA where you don't travel. I currently am a traveling CRA. And also there is the sponsor, the site, and the CRO side of things. Each site or each location, like the sponsor, the site, or the CRO requires different things of a CRA. So it's not just the same across the board. some places don't require you to travel. Some places have a requirement of you traveling a certain amount of days. Like a clinical coordinator or a study coordinator, you may be working more hands-on with the patients and collecting the data for a CRA. And a lot of those positions I found were looking for like phlebotomists or medical assistants and things of that nature. And I'm not in a position to get any more certificates or anything. I'm going to work with what I have. Also, I know for this position, you have to have a bachelor's. It didn't matter what it was in, but you have to have a bachelor's degree. I know I'm all over the place and I'm sorry, but I'm trying to make sure I remember everything for you within a certain amount of time for this video. So after like trying to fix my resume and my LinkedIn page, that's what I use the most. I curated my resume to highlight the transferable skills and the things that I was doing in my previous jobs to kind of correlate with what they were looking for the CRA position. And I can go into more detail for that in a later video. If you guys like, just leave it in the comments. So once I thought that my resume was okay enough to present, I went ahead and started applying for jobs. And I also put the open to work banner on my LinkedIn, and I got the premium feature for LinkedIn. I only used the free trial. I think it's for 30 days, and I maximized that time. I started reaching out to recruiters. I started reaching out to current CRAs, people who were CRAs. I started connecting with people who are in the clinical research field so that my timeline can start, looking towards the profession that I was trying to get in. I have no clinical research experience at all. And I just started talking to different people, asking them, how do they like the job? What are their experiences? How did they get into the position? Just so I can see how I need to maneuver and maximize my time. And once I started talking to people, I was going to recruitment events, and putting myself out there. It took me about 1 to 2.5 months, I think, to get a job offer. And I know for a fact that people were, I think I said this before, people were very impressed with the amount of research and knowledge that I knew about the profession already. So I think that's it. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section, and that's how I'll curate the rest of the videos for the series.